Now, if you ever needed any more evidence that a lot of these so-called social justice warrior activists are actually just grifters, and in this case race baiters, if you ever needed any more evidence, well, look no further, because guess who's back? Martin Luther Cream, Shaun King, and he just got caught in a massive scandal, and it is right in line with the same kind of grifting that we are constantly pointing out on the left. The question is, how low is too low? Well, within the world of leftism, it's never too low, it's never off limits, it's never too sensitive to make a quick buck, huh? Here we go, leftist activists grifting as they stand on the graves of innocent civilians. Shaun King is back at it again. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so he's back. Take a look at this. Why do people believe someone who is a clear hater of Israel, brutal, far-left BLM hoaxer Shaun King claims he helped facilitate release of US hostages from Hamas? Family says, quote, they've never heard of him. As reported earlier, there was a wonderful Friday from Gaza. An American mother and her daughter, Judith and Natalie Rainan, who were taken hostage during Hamas's deadly raid inside Israel, well, they were just released by the terror group. The nation of Qatar took credit for the negotiations that led to the mother and daughter's release from Hamas. Then after the release of Natalie and her mother, fake black activist Shaun King, aka Talcum X, claimed on social media that he was working behind the scenes to get the two Americans released. Shaun King wrote online that they are his friends and supporters. King announced on October 11th, 4 days after Hamas slaughtered 1,300 Jews and took another 200 hostage, that he was going to take action. His wife posted about King's plans. On Friday, Shaun King wrote on social media that he was behind the scenes working for the release of an American mother and daughter. Here's the original post. Hamas just freed the teenager Natalie Rainan and her mother. I'm grateful. As I said last week, Natalie and her family have been supporters of mine and protested police violence in America alongside us. I am also thankful for the Qatari government for helping to negotiate this. Dozens of us worked frantically behind the scenes to help make this possible. I spoke to Natalie's family this afternoon and they are anxiously awaiting more updates. Not everyone was buying it. Several pundits doubted King's outlandish claims. Now this. The Rainan family released a statement on Saturday. They've never even heard of Shaun King. The con man gets caught again. The family's message was initially released in Hebrew. This is the original post, and once translated, I guess we can just use the auto Google Translate from Hebrew. Shaun King and the conspiracy theory about the kidnappings. I will immediately detail the sequence of events and what we do know. But first, it is important to clarify. The family of Natalie and Yehudit Raanan says that they have no idea who Shaun King is and that they first found out about his existence after their release and reading the posts. Now, the rest of the translation isn't exactly of the highest quality and not exactly that relevant. It's just more leftist grifting. How many fake icons, fake actors, race baiters, and grifters need to be exposed in the world of leftist Twitter? Whether it's Harry Sisson and his Gen Z for Biden bought and paid for DNC shilling, whether it's Joe from Jurors, the Krasenstein brothers, or Brooklyn crackhead dad, or Tariq Nasheed and his infamous little buck-breaking arc. It seems like the grift is never ending. Literally anything for clout, anything for clicks, anything to be a leftist activist cult leader. You know, it's this sort of perverse system of online clout chasing and financial gain, which in a way exists on both sides. I mean, the right has like Ian Miles Chong, for instance, but he is not nearly as bad as the leftist individuals who occupy the activist spaces online, and it's these types of actions that prove that. The constant lying, but most importantly, the emotional manipulation using such sensitive topics, as I always say, whether it's the race grifting or grifting on, whatever the police encounter of the day is. By the way, there's another one that people keep posting about, a traffic stop, a speeding stop, where an individual, tragically his life was taken, but he was not cooperating, assaulted an officer, attempted to choke him, which is, again, key context that leftists constantly omit from their reporting or activism. This dishonest sort of planting seeds of chaos with such sensitive topics relating to race, all with the end goal of benefiting themselves financially or generating more clout and becoming leftist icons and leftist heroes. And Sean King, well, at one point he was the king of that. And if it's not that, if it's not grifting on police encounters gone wrong and pitting American citizens against each other, well, then it's standing on the graves of young children, attempting to make cheap political points or activist points using school shooting victims, like we've seen with David Hogg, for instance. And if it's not that, well, it's pretending to be, I don't know, some sort of hero in the middle of a wartime, acting as if you are a key component in hostage negotiations, releasing a post like Sean King did. I mean, absolutely insane. Quote, dozens of us worked frantically behind the scenes to help make this possible, as he claims that the individuals being held captive are his biggest fans, and that they protested together, only for the truth to be revealed that they don't even know who Sean King is. Why is it always the left? I mean, seriously, why is it always the left? Oh, but both sidesism. No, it doesn't exist on both sides. These horrible grifters who constantly lie and constantly take these tragic situations and use them for their political activism seem to only operate or exist, or at least exist in a majority, on the left side of the political spectrum. And it's no surprise why, because the left operates on a very specific type of fuel. What fuel is that? Emotions. That's how they build their narrative. That's how they build their brand and their name. You know this infamous picture right over here? It's a perfect example. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez at the southern border. The kids. Oh my gods, is the kids. Donald Trump is putting people in concentration camps. The horror. As she stares into a parking lot for clicks and clout so she can sell her t-shirts and do her little Twitch streams and her live streams on TikTok. But when push comes to shove, she doesn't give a you-know-what about the kids. Because guess what? The problem's 10 times worse than it was under Joe Biden's non-existent leadership on the southern border. But these photos, these photo ops, the activism, the hyperbolic rhetoric, well, it's not there anymore. I wonder why. Because it's a double standard. Because the only standard is appealing to emotions, manipulating people's emotions, with the hopeful end result of political gain, increased name recognition, and social media clout. These people don't care. And it's like I always say, you know, these leftists who put on this Gandhi-esque, compassionate public persona image are probably the last people that you should trust, or probably the last people that you should perceive as being truly compassionate. They're probably horrible and abusive behind the scenes. We've covered many instances which essentially suggest that you should probably have your BS radar active and working when interacting with these individuals. People who tell you that they care so much about the kids, the people who are constantly projecting their virtue, displaying how good they are and how much they care, when it really comes down to it, they never care. And the people who tell you that they're fighting for social activist causes, or they're fighting for minority groups and disenfranchised groups, again, you should have your BS radar active, question everything, doubt everything, because it seems as though every single time the only end goal from the race grifting and race baiting individuals, or even organizations like Black Lives Matter, it seems as though every single time it's a money-making, fundraising grift. They take sensitive topics like this and they attempt to make money on them, whether it's through just name recognition by getting their name out there by pretending as if they're behind the scenes negotiating with terrorists to get American hostages released when they're obviously not, or whether they're posting links asking for donations for whatever the cause is. It's always a dishonest grift from sociopathic individuals who have no moral compass whatsoever. The audacity of this man to do something so incredibly dishonest and so heinous, I can't imagine it, at least not from a personal perspective, but boy, at this point is it totally unsurprising. After the whole BLM debacle, Black Lives Matter now standing for buy lavish mansions, I will never trust a leftist activist organization or individual ever again. They show their true colors each and every single time. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.